love's for beginners. Ain't no winners, it slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monday podcast. Hope you're all doing well. I'm not doing so well. You can probably hear that I sound even worse today than I did yesterday, but I'm all right. All right, this is Sniffles. Oh, by the way, Lauren Brown, if you are listening, I am so sorry. You sent me an email like 13 days ago, and I've only just seen it now. I'm awful with emails. I think Benjamin's been emailing me as well. Oh, I'm so bad with that email box. I'm sorry, guys. If I don't respond to you straight away, it's just because I am just so bad with responding to my Gmail inbox because I barely look at it, to be honest. But I will try and respond to you, right? Okay, just give me a sec, guys. Oh, my head is blocked up, my nose blocked up. I just need to sort something out on the back end. One moment. All right. All right, let's see here. Oh, over 500 of you in the chat already. Fantastic. See who's here. Just to be here, you're enjoying the docu-series until Anne comes on. Which one? Live to Lead or the actual documentary? Are you watching it again? I really want to watch it again. I just don't have a moment to. I haven't even watched Live to Lead yet, and I'm still working through Harry's book. I'll find time to watch it eventually. Thank you so much, Linda. Do you know, I hate missing podcasts. First of all, because I do miss it anytime I don't do one, but also because any news that I don't talk about that day has to get dragged on to the next day, and then I end up with like 40 or 50 slides. Ugh. Lottie said that's why Harry kept on running to Africa to he was hurt and lonely. I had no idea he drank and smoked so much. Yeah. It's just really it's really sad. Yeah, chosen to be his. That's why Harry called it the freedom flight. Literally. To freedom. And imagine calling something freedom when you've lived your whole life in a way that everybody else thinks is the absolute epitome of luxury and privilege. I think this is what's hurting a lot of royalists. I think that their identity is so attached to this fairy tale of monarchy that it's like Harry's just lifted the lid, um, pretty much destroyed the fantasy, and that kind of veneer is now gone. So if you've spent your whole life thinking that this institution was one thing, and now the whole world knows that it's another, what do you do if your identity is so attached to that? And I think this is why a lot of people are taking what Harry and Meghan are doing so personally, when really what they should be doing is deeply questioning this institution. And why are we still allowing this institution to act in this way in 2023? It's just not okay. Thank you so much, Kat Harlem. Wait, I actually have to find your super sticker. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, the super chat. Thank you so much, Kat Harlem. Let's get this podcast off to a good start since Anne decided to show up while being sick. Oh, thank you. Listen, unless I am literally in a coma, I will show up. And even then, you can tell them to hook me up, and then just like my braves to rant about the royals. Linda Lala, I'm older than Dad. It took me 2 years to figure out the membership things they are. Well, you can. If any of you who are struggling with membership on YouTube, you can do membership on Buy Me a Coffee as well. So to be honest with you guys, look, how you choose to give and if you choose to give is 100% up to you. But to be honest, just so you know, it is actually better for me if you donate through Buy Me a Coffee, Cash App, or PayPal. Just because I don't know if you know this, but YouTube takes 30% of anything you give to me through super chats or memberships. So these platforms take a lot of money, and they're not even doing anything to tackle a lot of the hate. In fact, they're pushing a lot of the hate channels. So just so you know, anytime you give a super chat or you have memberships directly through YouTube, it's just going to them. So if you want things to go directly to me, do Buy Me a Coffee, do Cash App, do PayPal. Because then that's just less money that goes to YouTube and less money that goes to them pushing hate until they, decide to tackle it properly. And yes, I will try all of your grandma recipes that I can see you giving me in the comment section. Thank you so much. All right. Right, let's get straight into the I'll pin that to the top, and then we'll get straight into the podcast. Quite a few things to go through today. So Let's start with some good stuff. We have got some good stuff. Um, Omid will be on the Common Sense podcast tomorrow, and he'll be talking about Harry, Meghan, and presumably his upcoming book. So go and check out the Common Sense podcast, and I will remind you tomorrow. And there should be a link for me to actually send you to. So Omid doing some good things. Invictus Games, they posted this. The competitors are now open to team registration. So all of the teams that are going to be taking part, it's now time for them to start registering. And I mean, they prepare all year round, but now it's like game on. So everything is still going ahead and going fine with Invictus Games. Also, did I have any more positive news before we get into the mess? No, that was all the positive news. I'm just going to be on a podcast tomorrow, and yeah, Invictus Games registrations have begun. On to the mess. We have so it seems like that story that I talked about yesterday, Andrew launching a legal challenge to reverse some of the settlement that was given to Virginia Giuffre, and ask for an apology for what? Ask for an apology for what, sir? You sweaty nonce. But there he goes. He's launching that legal challenge. And just wow. This is a surprise to me. I honestly thought that they were just going to leave it at the settlement that was given. For them to now try and launch a challenge, I don't even know what to say to this. I don't know who's advising them, because unfortunately, that 12 million that was given to Virginia Giuffre, that whole story just came and went. There were still people, lining up for the Queen's funeral. There's still people excited about the coronation. Andrew went to the funeral. He was there at the vigil. People were walking past, not in disgust, but with looks of awe on their faces. So it's not like anybody. Well, I think straight-minded people were outraged, but for those who support the monarchy, clearly they weren't outraged. And instead of just letting it go, now they're just bringing it back up again. I guess because there was no real pushback or protest, they just feel, why not? Why not launch a challenge? Also, Bojo was in Ukraine. I have no idea why. He's no longer the Prime Minister of the UK. I don't know what he's doing there, what purpose he's there for. He has been, like Charles, running around getting cash here, there, and everywhere. There's a huge scandal, something going on with somebody who was like the head of the BBC, and he got money from that person. I haven't read too much into it, but there's a lot of questions about his money and where he was getting money from. And here he is now in Ukraine in a war zone doing goodness knows what. So yeah, that's that. Jeremy Clarkson, this guy. Everybody who thought that non-apology to Harry, because now we know it was really direct, it was sent to Harry, it wasn't sent to Harry and Meghan. Anybody that thought that non-apology was an apology, shame on you, because this pipsqueak has come back and he is actually doubling down in the most disgusting way. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to read part of it because I think this part especially just speaks for who Jeremy Clarkson is. He clearly wants a job at GB News or Talk TV. This is what he said in this article for the Times. This was written yesterday. My son came over for a father and son pre-football supper the other day, and he was fussed over the aga making a particularly fine stir fry. We laughed about what word had been banned that day and who'd been cancelled. This is what he talks about with his son. Not teaching him how to be a man, not teaching him how to be kind, compassionate, to be a leader, to be concerned with what word was. I don't know what words are being banned. Anyway, he then goes on to say, and then after a pause, he said with a solemn face, "You do know that there's a war going on, don't you?" He wasn't talking about Ukraine. He was talking about a full-on left-wing campaign to unstitch and burn the fabric of Britain. And the genius is that no one really knows that what they're doing is serious. We laugh as they change the name of the Sir Francis Drake Primary School to something less slavey. We think it's a big joke, but it isn't. Something less slavey. We think it's a big joke, but it isn't. This is Jeremy Clarkson. This is who he is. He speaks for a lot of people. And all I can say is thank you, actually, sir, for showing your true colours and also exposing a lot of other people as well. I don't know where these people get the audacity, because so much of what Britain has was built off the back of others. And it's like they just have this sense of superiority, this sense of, I don't even know. I don't even know how to weave my words right now. Maybe you can help me in the comment section. What did you say? Legs, you said that these rats are pathetic, still trying to drum up hate for Harry. First, he lied in the book. Now he's doing commentary. Don't forget that it is his child's birthday. Why would he do commentary? Oh, what, for the coronation? Are they saying that? Mad World, I wonder if Andrew is the royal family sacrificial replacement for Harry and Meghan in the tabloids. Maybe. I mean, they need someone to bash. Joan, that's good to know. I have no desire to give money to the hate machine. Yeah, guys and dolls. Unfortunately, when you do give through YouTube, 30% of it goes to YouTube. By the way, girl, you said, I feel like there's been a shift lately. Even the haters seem to be more onto the toxicity of the royals. Yes, and we're going to get into some of the ways in which the tabloids have been twisting people's words. By the way, if at any point you can't hear me or see the screen, you just need to refresh. Marina, you said the pervert is challenging the victim is still a nonce. Yes. That absolutely. Miss P Talks, do you think that he's trying to make a comeback as a prime minister? Do you think? Oh my god, can you imagine if he comes back as prime minister before Charles is king? Or if we have we could well be on our third prime minister by the time Charles is king. And I don't actually know what the UK law says on this about people returning as prime minister. So I don't even know if that's actually possible with Bojo. It could be. I'll have to look into this. Also, the thing about Andrew's legal bid, who's paying for that? Who's paying for that? Mad World, Lisa Bloom was on Good Morning Britain and she said that Andrew doesn't stand a chance. Valerie, the Times has left and gone to hell, and now it's Lucifer's media. I mean, isn't that just the whole UK tabloid press? Yes, B10 Powell, they're depraved. Joy for us, I'll never understand why editors allow his words to be printed in papers. Well, because it just gets clicks. I mean, what you can see, the screen print I have, somebody else archived it and send it around. Anytime you see articles like this, by the way, wait for squaddies to post an archive. If you really want to see it, wait for squaddies to post an archive link so that the revenue doesn't go directly to the paper. Otherwise, you're just giving them clicks and views. Yes, Wendy, the entitlement. I think that's the word I was looking for. All right. There's that. I think that's probably the last time that I'm ever going to talk about Jeremy Clarkson, but I just wanted to say that clearly he is he wants to feel the karma, I guess. Losing his farm wasn't enough, losing his show wasn't enough, and I guess the only thing that he has to go for now is a place on Talk TV or GB News. Right. This came up in the papers. Somebody did a lookalike photo shoot of William and Kate in bed eating burgers, reading Spare. These two look so much more in love than the actual William and Kate, but great work there by the lookalikes and the photographer. Also, this popped up in the Daily Fail. I think the Daily Fail has officially lost it. This was on the front page. Refugees in, Harry's out. Charles's coronation will reflect his desire to be the people's king, refugees, diversity, and volunteering to take center stage during historic 3-day extravaganza, but there will be no place for Prince Harry on the balcony. Here we are again with the balcony. Listen, the balcony is wherever Harry and Meghan are. And if Harry and Meghan decide to keep their asses in Montecito, the balcony will be in Montecito. First of all, none of this makes sense to me, because if there's anything that Daily Fail readers don't like to hear, it's the word diversity and refugees, or any of that wokery, as they would put it. So I don't understand what this headline is about, who decided to put this out there. Now, one of the writers of this article is Kate Manzi. Kate Manzi is the one that wrote that headline that was lying about Harry's security, and I think that is still pending a court case. So my only guess is that this could be an attempt, or maybe we'll see more of this going forward, to convince, I guess, more progressive watchers that they're trying to be inclusive. The problem is that that group of people, they're already done with the monarchy, as far as I can see. So you're not going to win them over. At the same time, you're angering your core audience of royalists, who are mostly right-wing and Tory. So I don't understand what the Daily Fail is doing. Is this the courtiers? What's going on here? But yeah, apparently refugees in, Harry out. I mean, listen, there's plenty of place in those castles to house people. And didn't we hear some time ago that they were going to take in some Ukrainian refugees? I haven't heard any updates about that. There's also plenty of homeless people on the streets of Britain. I'm sure they wouldn't mind a couple months rent-free in some of the castles either. Very strange headline, very strange story. And this was the reaction from Daily Fail readers. Celtic 1988 from Belfast said, abolish the monarchy. Complete waste of money. Nothing but a shameful waste of money. I hope the king doesn't forget the hard-working tax-paying public. There are already enough bank holidays in April and May. A coronation is not appropriate for the divorced king. It's a complete waste of money. Incredibly vulgar. This is ridiculous. If this is the way the monarchy is heading, I call into question its existence. I am a royalist. But of late, I am wondering if the royal family are of any importance. France still has the Palace of Versailles. It would be nicer if he and his government showed more appreciation of the people who pay their wages. Dear God, what have I just read? How much will this cost the taxpayer? So that is the reaction from the Daily Fail. Right, I'll get your comments before we get to the main story of the day. Tabloids twisting people's words. Gail Lewis, don't forget, Guthray's gag order expired when the Queen died, so she may have a lot to say. Yes, they could be trying to gag her again. Anna, did the Queen pay for Andrew's settlement against the victim? That is what is thought, yes. Because where did that 12 million come from? He doesn't have that money. Compton, Caligo, Andrew's a scapegoat for Charles, Camilla, William, and Kate. Do you know what? They can try and use him as a scapegoat, but I just don't see that the most loyal monarchists do not have the hate for Andrew that they have for Meghan. I don't know how long they can use him as a shield for. Thank you so much, B10 Pal. Much appreciated. Carlos, the young people's king. Yes, certainly diversity without his biracial daughter-in-law. Denisha, listening from sunny Greece. Oh, I really want to visit Greece. Rory B, I wouldn't be surprised if William and Kate have sneakily read Spare behind the screen. Of course. They read it the day it came out. They had the courtiers read through it and give them the highlights. Parts where they're mentioned. Yes, Wendy, if anything, that headline is just so offensive for 100 different reasons. 100 different reasons that headline is so offensive. I mean, the people's king, really? Married to Camilla? Marina, you said he's probably getting a show on GB News. Piers Morgan staged a walkout on GB because he had 50 million in the bag. Yes. These creepy men are so emboldened because they have powerful, rich people backing them. Yes. Angela, what do you mean lying about Harry and Meghan's security? So Kate Manzi wrote an article where she misrepresented basically what was going on with Harry's security. Long story short, that court case is still pending, so I'll talk about it in future podcasts. Vargas, I think if they had treated Meghan differently, I think Britain would feel differently about the monarchy. I think so too. They manufactured this hate campaign, and unfortunately, I guess some people, you could argue, already had it in their hearts. But I do think some people were genuinely manipulated. Thank you so much, Lashana, for the catch up. I just saw that. Thank you. All right. Yes, Diana forever. I'm gonna tell my kids this was a coronation. This was a coronation. Mars, Spare as a movie? No, not Spare as a movie. Spare as a whole series. And it will be better than The Crown. That's what I say. Because if it's just a movie, it goes all the way back to Harry's childhood. There's no reason why Archwell Productions couldn't do it themselves. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Angela. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. On to the meat and bones of today. This. So there was a gentleman who was mentioned in Harry's book. This was Harry's former pilot trainer. His former instructor, right? Now he spoke to a UK tabloid, mistake number one, and they completely misinterpreted what he said. No, sorry, not misinterpreted, misquoted and lied about what he said. So he posted on Facebook, I am absolutely raging. As feared, the press have completely twisted my complimentary comments about Harry and misquoted me. Never ever believe what you read in the papers. Sir, while I am sorry for what the papers did to you, how many times do Harry and Meghan have to say that the UK tabloids are lying, scheming sycophants? How many times? And it didn't even need Harry and Meghan to say it because that's what they've always been. And so everybody should know by now. You don't talk to these people, especially when it comes to Harry and Meghan. But even with other issues, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, they will twist things and they will lie. Oh, thank you so much, Iris Demonia, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Members Club. So, this is what this gentleman wrote. So he followed up with that original post and he said, I am Michael Booley, Harry's former sergeant, major flying instructor, quoted in this article. Out of the blue, I was contacted by the press to be made aware that they are writing articles and I was named in Harry's book Spare. I was offered an opportunity to comment on it. I was completely unaware of this. As I had not seen it, I was then provided with an inaccurate version of the book, translated. And in response, I expressed my concern about any possible detrimental narratives from the outset. Later, I saw the English version and highlighted the differences to the press. I was then assured that if I offered any comments, they would be reported on accurately. Stupidly and against my better judgment, I proceeded on trust. I made it absolutely clear that Harry was an exceptional student and I had nothing but the utmost respect for him. I highlighted some inaccuracies in the book, in particular reference to flying sorties, but felt that they were probably not Harry's words and highly likely to be dramatized due to the fact that the book was ghostwritten. I did not know who the ghostwriter was and certainly did not blame him. Not once did I say anything derogatory about Prince Harry, and I certainly never said it was complete fantasy, as the article headlines would have you believe. I made it clear to the reporters that I would not approve of anything derogatory, and yet here we are. I also made it clear that I myself am suffering with complete PTSD and am under treatment for it, and any misquotes or twists could potentially impact my health and well-being. I feel let down and betrayed by them. I also feel foolish for having listened to their assurances of trust and honesty. I should have known better. I certainly do not ask for or receive any payment, as some of the above comments suggest, and I'm very despondent about how this article has been portrayed. So this is somebody that actually suffers from PTSD, and he said this. He said this. And the tabloid press went ahead and misquoted him anyway. And then we wonder why people commit S and unalive themselves after having to put up with the press. Symptoms of PTSD, feelings of worthlessness, shame and guilt, problems controlling your emotions, finding it hard to feel connected with other people, relationship problems, like having trouble keeping friends and partners. And yes, in the worst case scenario, unaliving yourself. So this isn't the first time. Happens all the time. Quite recently, I was actually meant to cover this in another podcast. I don't know why I just never got round to it. This was only a couple of weeks ago as well. This was a drugs researcher called Matthew Johnson, and he was interviewed about an article for psychedelics in response to what Harry said about trying experimental psychedelics as a treatment. And he said, I regret being interviewed for this article about psychedelics and Prince Harry with a daily fail, and now copycat articles also quote me. Many of my words were distorted or out of context, biased and distasteful. I mean, how many times does it have to be said these people are not trustworthy? That there is an invisible contract, that there is an agenda. It's been said 100 times. Do people still not believe it? Do people's ill feelings about Harry and Meghan run so? I mean, I don't even listen. You feel a certain way about Harry and Meghan, then whatever. That's your business. But if somebody who's in the public eye is telling you and giving you evidence that this establishment, this press establishment cannot be trusted, and there is ample evidence, even beyond what they have said, that the tabloid press cannot be trusted, why do you still then go and talk to them? Here's another example. This was a young lady talking about what was she talking about? I think it was something to do with violence against women. So she spoke to the Times, right? And they also misrepresented what she said. And then she went on Twitter and said, "I did not say this. Speaking out about police violence can be extremely traumatic, and it doesn't help when journalists treat you in bad faith and make up words for the sake of a clickbait headline." The Times and Hannah, who was, I guess, the journalist who wrote this piece, "What is your excuse for this?" She then goes on to say, "I thought very carefully about my responses to the 6 questions from the Times. This is what I sent to them. If anyone has the time to read it, you'll see the words women are women are flocking to me appear nowhere." So she spoke out about Met harassment. That's what she was talking about, but she never said women are flocking to me for help. She never said that. She then goes on to say, "Also, journalists, when you're asking women to speak out about police trauma, please send them the article when it goes live, even better before, so they don't have to pay to read the thing while shaking with nerves. Have to say, as a queer woman, this headline is even more wild. I spoke out against Met harassment and now women are flocking to me." Like, okay, Hans, where are you all at then? And then David Challen, who speaks out a lot about violence against women, he then responded by saying, "This is outrageous. I'm sorry this has happened. Speaking out in a story like this should come with not just quote readback, but full copy with a headline sent to you prior to publishing it. I've had my run-ins with speaking out in the Sunday Times. Shameful this has occurred too." And this is such a sensitive topic, especially now that we are reckoning with individuals in the police force that have been using their position to target vulnerable women and children. This is a topic that needs to be talked about with sensitivity, not for clickbait headlines. So irresponsible by the Times that presents itself as this non-tabloid, this very prim and proper paper. We don't do that tabloid stuff like the Daily Mail and the Sun. Well, they do. It's just presented to look a little bit more posh, but it's the same trash and the same unethical practices by these so-called journalists. And please, for the last time, if the tabloid press come to you, say no. Let me give you an example. Here's something from me. This is Hello Mag. This was sent to me last April. "Hello, we love your post about Yasmin and would love to cover a story about the Meghan effect for Hello online. Would you mind chatting to us about it?" I responded by saying, "Sorry, but that will have to be a no from me. I don't like the nasty attitude of your readers. The comments they leave under pictures of Meghan are horrible and unmoderated. I won't have anything to do with publications that tolerate that abuse towards Meghan." This was last April. To this day, if you go to Hello Mag, go to the Instagram and go to posts about Harry and Meghan, they still allow vile comments. And that is exactly why I said no. Shady magazine, this one. It's this simple, people. They come into your inbox, you say hell to the no, and keep it pushing. No reason to engage. And with that, I'm done for the day. Thank you everyone for listening as always. I'll go to comments and we will wrap things up. And I think Baron, if he's not already on, he's on. Oh. Thank you so much, Linda Lala. Much appreciated. Thank you also to Sylvia Felder, who bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And Washington. And did you see where Charles gave 1.2 billion to the government? Has he? 1.2 billion from where? Did he sell one of the castles? Where did that 1.2 billion go? Listen, one day we're gonna have a serious conversation about the unroyals and their money. Where it comes from, where it goes. Julia Rock, why this man spoke to them boggles my mind. Yes. Because he would have seen all of the headlines. I mean, listen, even if you've been living under a rock, right? Like, did you not see the Oprah interview? Did you not see clips for the Oprah interview? Have you not heard, the whole Mega made Kate cry was actually Kate made Mega cry? I mean, you can't tell me that this man has not at least seen one or two examples, if not with the situation with Harry and Meghan throughout his entire lifetime, where the press has shown themselves to be rats, and you still talk to them. I'm sure he's old enough to have been around when Hillsborough happened. You don't talk to these people unless you want to be completely misrepresented. Then you talk to them. Yeah, the British tabloid press are poisonous. They don't care who they hurt. They just care about their money, and they definitely don't care about informing you. Angela, we all have to protect each other and our energy. The imperial colonialist machine cannot harm us when we sit together and care for each other. That is true. Community and a more sustainable way of living. And just demanding that people are held accountable. But that takes collective action, and we don't have it in mass numbers at the moment. Anyway, I do hope that man, not to sound too harsh, but I do hope that man is okay. Because the way in the reach that the press has, his words are out there already. And there's not that many people, especially if they're already on the side of um disliking Harry and Meghan, that will go seeking the truth. So I mean, they've done this so many times. I feel like people need to, everybody who's been that had their words misrepresented, they need to file some kind of class lawsuit, because there's no way that this can just slide. How can they keep doing? I mean, I showed you 3 examples right there, and those are just a few. Thank you so much, Dorothy Ross. Oh, thank you everyone for your well wishes. Thank you so much. All right, who's gonna get the last word of the day? Cinderella, are there any legitimate news organizations in the UK? There are, but they're the small ones. People don't read them en masse. Bylines has been pretty good. Who else? I mean, Bylines is the only one that have been really reporting on the phone hacking and on the tabloid mafia, and who actually name them. But I don't know any others that do it in the detail that they do. But I do think this gentleman, um, the pilot instructor who's spoken to the press, I do think that he should sue. The fact that he's actually suffering from PTSD and they went ahead and did this and caused him distress, that is that has got to be a means for launching some kind of suit. Um so who knows? But somebody needs to do something. Yes, light side, I'm very stuffy. Marina, I love Byline. Their channel on YouTube is internet. Yes, they do have a channel as well where they do post sometimes. All right, Angela, I'm going to give you the last word of the day. Accountability is essential. Feel better. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you to the moderators as well. You help keep the podcast safe for everyone to enjoy. Love you all. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah, baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.